What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another highly combustible reaction. We're jumping into something awesome. Let's learn how Hans Zimmer created the Oscar-winning score for Dune. If you enjoy it, get over show Vanity, fair, all the love in the world. Shout out to Tom for the request. I definitely appreciate it. Let's get inside the mind of this genius right here. Let's go on a journey.
Maybe in the future we will not have regular beats. Maybe we will have actually progressed as human beings, that we don't need a disco beat to enjoy ourselves.
I don't know if the disco beat will ever go away fully, though. Come on.
Could be something much more advanced. And why are they electronic? Because I like making drum sounds.
I love making drum sounds, too. Give me a trash can.
I'm Hans Zimmer, and this is how we created the score for Dune.
I like how he said we.
I read the book as a teenager when I was 14 years old, and I loved it. I never saw the David Lynch version, I never saw the television version, nor did I hear the music, because I had a sort of a vision and a sound in my head. My challenge was not being a grown-up, not trying to be the man who's done a lot of movies, but to regress in a way and become the reckless 13-year-old teenager. And
Hell yes.
13-year-old teenager. I think it was more a challenge to everybody else, my behavior, but I loved it. I remember as a 13-year-old going and seeing science fiction movies and going, why do all these science fiction movies have European orchestral sounds, romantic period tonalities about them?
He's got a valid point. He's got a very valid point.
We're supposed to be on a different planet, different culture. We're supposed to be in the future. All of this was done in the time of COVID, which was oddly liberating to a certain degree, because we could all work in our own environments and we could communicate constantly. Part of the band was in London and part of the band was in Vienna. So it was truly an international way of working. In Inception, people are talking about the Bram sound, the low brass. I made the sound, but that means nothing. Chris wrote the sound in his screenplay to Inception. It was his way of showing time slowing down. We booked a studio for the next day with 10 brass players, and we had a piano in the middle of the room with a brick on the sustain pedal. So the brass would play into this piano and all the strings would be vibrating. And that's the sound of Inception. Something I wanted to always do, to invent instruments that don't exist, invent sounds that don't exist. For instance, I work with a chap called Chaz Smith.
Bring us the weird, the bizarre, the unheard. I'm totally about it, 100%.
He's either a great sculptor, or he's either a great musician. And he builds these sculptures that you can either hit or you can bow, like a violin or a cello. But then there's another part to it, which is where it gets very complicated. He has basically built himself in Northern California a house which is a...
Where in Northern California? That's awesome.
A lot of those sort of metal being excited in unconventional ways. So I had this framework of exotic, synthesized or built instruments. I remember saying to Tina Guo, my cellist, I want your cello to sound like a Tibetan war horn.
Oh.
I don't even know if there's a Tibetan war horn, but she got the image. We built the sort of electronic chamber resonators. Really, ultimately, all of that is just a frame.
That's so much more than just music at that point.
The one thing that I thought was more important than anything else in the world, which was the human voice. The one thing that would not age, the one thing that in the future would still be valid.
How did you create the chant that's more than one voice?
It's only one voice. It's a chap called Michael, fantastic singer. We had a language written out by a linguist. it's just about technology. If you use a compressor, if you overuse it, it feels like you're slamming your head against the door frame. You take a while to recover. So the compressor takes a while to recover, when you slam Michael's voice into it. So by taking each syllable apart and stretching it out and leaving gaps, I could then go and slam every syllable and make every syllable sound incredibly dangerous and violent. I had, of course, completely transformed his voice into something that was more like a cannonball hitting you in the head. And I played it to Denis Moore.
It's got an amazing description of everything.
Could be an interesting way to start the movie. By putting that voice there as opposed to hearing the beautiful fanfare of a European orchestra, you instantly knew we were going to tell you a story that was dark and mysterious.
You instantly knew that you were going to be in a different kind of a world. You're not here anymore. You're in the future.
And you couldn't quite work out, was this human or was it beyond humanity? You want to invite your audience on an adventure. You want to invite them on a journey. And you have to do it right at the beginning. You have to say it's not going to be quite what you imagined. It's going to be different. It's going to be interesting. And I did that on Lion King with my friend Lebo, where suddenly in a Disney movie, over black, you hear this amazing chant from Africa. And you instantly know it's not going to be princesses in the conventional sense. The movie is driven in its own sort of secret way by the female characters. They might not be your main characters, but they are certainly the underlying strengths to everything that you experience. And so I met Laa Cotler, who is an extraordinary vocalist. Tina wants to do Interstellar. Lisa wants to do
Gladiator, probably. And we'll also do Dark Phoenix Dunkirk with Loire.
Oh, yeah. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the heroic Laa Cotler.
When you are asked to do something that is not in the traditional parameter of what you would think the voice could do, and then you say yes, to doing something that, in your words, is reckless.
Yes.
Amazing things start to happen.
But Loa's history is that she does a particular type of singing which is highly unusual. Can you do a bit of the rhythmic stuff?
That's so fast.
We were talking about that Dune has its own rhythm. So it's obvious that I would find a woman who should know everything about rhythm and then give you the cry of a banshee.
I got damn chills on my arms, man. Woo.
There's a strength, there's a force that hits you, even without, reverb and compressors and all sorts of stuff. And that was in her voice.
This is amazing because I've always looked at Hans Zimmer as this untouchable creature up here above the rest of us. He's just a brilliant, brilliant mind. This lets us see that he's able to be a kid again. He's able to have fun. He's able to experience. It's not just all upright, classy. There's fun in there. There's humor in there. There's friendships in there. He's a human being, and I love being able to see that side of him.
The first time I saw them arriving on the planet Arrakis, and I saw the bagpiper, I went, oh, of course. They're the royal house. So normally you have trumpet fanfare or something like this heralding, the new ruler. But bagpipes, they're not just Scottish, Celtic or Irish, but I know that they're Caledonian ones and Spanish ones and Middle Eastern ones. Wherever you have a goat and you have a piece of wood, all I want to say is the goat better watch out because he's probably going to end up being a bagpipe.
Watch out, goats. You heard him.
The bagpipe you hear is really my guitarist, Guthrie Garvin, imitating a bagpipe on his guitar. And then we have the 30 bagpipe players come in. are in a very ethnic sort of landscape, so there is not a lot of wood around on our planet, but what we do have, we made flutes out of, and I kept saying to Pedro Eustache, my flautist, don't play it like a flute. Play it as if it was the wind whistling through the desert dunes. You asked me how the score was made, and I said, we were all colleagues, and we did it all together, and that's how it works.
The only thing I guarantee you is I will speak the truth. This is the duduk. And this is a very, very ancient instrument.
And that's a phrase from Gladiator, actually, so that's good. We knew we could do that, but then I said to him, I don't want you to play flutes. Can you make the sound of wind rushing through?
Yeah.
Well, plus, a lot of things were built. There were many journeys to the hardware store. PVC is your friend. PVC piping.
I actually made a sub-contra-bass duduk by putting this into a very long tube of PVC, and I cut the thing to get the different tones. So it is an instrument that doesn't exist anywhere. I do things that not many people in the world can do. But then I told him, yes, yeah, I can do this. He said, can you do air? I said, yeah, I can do. But can you make vowels while you're doing the air in a flute? And go like, no, don't do this to me. And it's...
Listen, that is fucking amazing.
And we did that from a piccolo bansuri to this big fat mama, which is back there, which is a contrabass flute. And I
Holy,
remember
what
one
the
time I
is
sent
that?
him 89 tracks of just duduks.
Because nobody's ever done it. You're used to seeing 32 violins, 14 cello, 6 basses, your normal Beethoven-type orchestra. But imagine you did it all out of those instruments. What would that sound like?
Amazing. I played this thing, which is a zurna, and I'm not gonna do it now because I will break all of your ears and everything. Believe me, I'm doing you a favor. not to break
Just do it.
Oh my
I just
God.
want to see the enamel, like.
He got me playing notes that I didn't know I could play up there. He doesn't know, but he
That, by
pushes
the way,
us.
is partly the bagpipe.
Yeah.
It's not a bagpipe. It's just what you hear is not what you see.
What you hear is definitely not what you think. That was absolutely amazing to watch. 100% a whole new respect for Hans Zimmer and team. Just brilliant. Going out of the way and making your own instruments to make it different, because why do we need the same old orchestra if we're talking about futuristic, if we're talking about another world, if we're talking, there's bound to be some sort of alien sounds. There's bound to be some sounds that you ain't never heard before. And they went through and they did every single one of them. Amazing, amazing stuff. Get over, show Hans Zimmer all the love in the world. Go show Vanity Fair the love. Smash the like button if you liked it, the dislike button, but I won't believe you. Tell the next one of my Combustible. You guys be happy, healthy, safe, but let me to the moon to back. Peace.